You're on, Tony.
You're on. Good evening, it's 7 o'clock here in New York City, and this is the TIBET Center, Kunchak Tarduling, a Buddhist meditation and study center located in New York City and northern New Jersey. And this is our twice weekly presentation of the Buddha Dharma, specifically topics from the Lama and graded stages on the path to enlightenment. All the prayers we say are on our website, tibetcenter.org, in the FAQ section. Scroll down to prayers. If there's someone for whom you want us to pray for who has passed away recently, place their names in the chat box at your first opportunity. Don't wait till the end because it's like a minute and a half delay and you might miss out. So we'll start with the prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the world. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. All the people living there, together with their near ones, engage in the teachings and have faith and respect for them. May all conditions that resist their practice of the true harmony of self and increase light of our sin, and especially for those who work on the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness. May they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we have hoped and wished. Darren, we're getting a text that our mic's not working. Mic is not pointed to Tony. It is.
It's okay.
It's okay? All right, Mark. Go back to bed. The Heart Sutra. Thus have I heard once, the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the Samadhi, which examines the dharmas called profound illumination, and at the same time, Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva Mahasatva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, how should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge? And Avalokiteshvara answered, Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this, seeing the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness itself is form. Emptiness is not separate from form, form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Thus, all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance to old age and death, nor there no. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the Bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge, and since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear, they transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow.
all the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awakened to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequal mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering
should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed, Tayagam Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisattva. O Shariputra, this is how Bodhisattva Mahasava should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from Samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasava Avalokiteshvara, saying, Good, O son of noble family, profound transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering and the world with its gods, humans, assurers, and Gandarvas, their hearts full of joy, praised the words of the Blessed One. Generating bodhicitta, or refuge in bodhisattva, vow 3 times each on these verses. Okay? With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the mysteries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. So now we got rid of obstacles with the Heart Sutra. We set our motivation with generating bodhicitta, and we'll cement that with one rosary round of Om Mani Padme Hum, the mantra of Avalokiteshvara, who personifies great compassion. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani.
Om Mani Padme Hum. on the people where he was. Is already. Well, Sunday is a topic of a lot of them were on the section of the permanent back. That was all case laws.
I love it.
In permanence and that, so first we'll have a bit of this kind of style, just on, didn't call this maybe a secular ethics. That a value now?
Not really, but it's okay. We got the camera, the camera mic.
The camera's all, you know, like that.
Yeah, you don't have to yell. It's picking you up. It's okay.
Yes.
Yep.
We're not sound, we're not any.
Not really, but it's okay. We got the camera.
This is His Holiness Dalai Lama, the quest for inner development. It's like a general talk on motivating yourself for spiritual practice. Good evening. This is from page 3 of this Essence of the Heart Sutra book, a wonderful book. Not only about the Heart Sutra, but about other topics. Translated and edited by Thupten Jinpa. Reads very nicely, very helpful. Simple, easy, relax, and enjoy. Time is always moving forward, Holiness said. Yes. With each passing moment, beginning from the instant of our birth, we come closer to our end, to our death. How's that for cheerful information, huh? That is our nature and the nature of the universe, always moving. As spiritually minded people, it is essential for us to constantly check and examine ourselves to see how we are living every moment of our lives. In my own case, the major portion of my life is already gone. He wrote this 20 years ago. But although I am a lazy practitioner of Buddhism, I can see that each year there is some progress in my life. Above all, I try to be a genuine follower of Buddha Shakyamuni and a good Buddhist monk. Of course, even Buddhist monks make mistakes in our lives and practices, but I think I've made some contribution to this world we share, especially to the preservation of Tibetan Buddhist culture. And now it gets more personal. In spiritual matters, we should not allow ourselves to be too easily content, because truly there is no limit to our spiritual potential. Anything material has a limit. A body, you can exercise so much, etc. Of course it's going. Spiritual progress exists in the mind is eternal. It's always here, it's not physical, it's not subject to physical laws, the limits. So that's something to bear in mind. So whatever emphasis you want to put, where's the best place to put my emphasis? The mind. Okay, Rob?
Don't manage.
All right, you manage? Have some coffee. You'll feel much better. And then you'll feel worse.
Still got that bad stomach.
Yeah, sip it nicely. It's cold, sip cold. Drink hot, right? All of us, His Holiness says, any of us can develop infinitely. There's no limit. There's no limit on what your mind can hold. Don't think of it like too much, but no, it's limitless. It's a big deal. And any of us can attain Buddhahood, which is the full involvement of our minds. The mind we possess right now, though it may presently be full of ignorance and suffering, can eventually become the mind of an enlightened being of a Buddha. The very mind we have now goes to Buddhahood if we do the right things. Where our material possessions are concerned, finding contentment makes sense. Yes, it's nice. But since there's no limit to our spiritual potential and there is a limit to the span of our life, we must make every effort to utilize what little time we have as well as we possibly can with this precious human lifetime. We're in a good position. We can do things now that guarantee very long future lives. They're very good and positive, leading all the way to Buddhahood. Or we can get entangled in material reality and go crazy. Material things are good. You have to have a nice house, a reliable car, or whatever, to a point. So that's all. Cost-benefit analysis. If you're a businessman, this is it. In being human, we are all the same. Our minds are anyway, we know that. On that level, none of us are strangers. There are no fundamental differences between any of us. You experience many emotions. Some emotions help you, others hinder you. The same is true for me, His Holiness is saying. Within our ever-changing experiences, all of us are constantly experiencing different emotions. Sometimes anger, sometimes jealousy, sometimes love, sometimes fear. You experience many thoughts. You have the potential to analyze, to investigate the long-term and short-term prospects for your life. The same is true of me. Within our ever-changing experiences, we all constantly experience different perceptions. Color, odor, taste, feel, sound, even awareness itself. These are the inputs we have. Awareness itself, he sneaks that in. That's very big. When you talk awareness, you're going into a very technical series of teachings. More on that later. These things function similarly in each of us. This is the Dalai Lama talking, saying he's just like the rest of us. Of course, it is also possible to find differences among human beings. We each have individual experiences not shared by everyone. For instance, you may have great skill with computers while I have none. Likewise, since I have no mathematical training, I may have great difficulty with certain things that come quite easily to you. But these kinds of differences in individual experiences are minor. You and I may hold different beliefs about the universe, about reality, about religion, and even within a belief, within a faith tradition, for instance, there are all sorts of differences between people. But such differences in belief, just like differences in experience, are minor compared to our common humanity. You shouldn't feel estranged from anything. It's one thing that puts your mind at rest that way. You shouldn't be alienated. The essential thing is that we are all the same in being human, thinking, feeling, and being aware. Again, he sneaks that in. We all share this one planet, and we are all members of one big human family. And what do families do, by the way? Sometimes they don't get along. Oh well, he doesn't mean it that way. And I think, too, that some human experiences are universal. For instance, when someone smiles at you, you feel happy. In the exact same way, I feel happy when you smile at me. Both you and I seek out what we think is good for us, and we avoid what we think will harm us. This is basic human nature. So he goes on. We're now on page 5. If you're keeping score, you think I'm faking it. In the realm of the external material world, we are aware of what is good for us and what harms us. Then, on the basis of this careful analysis and clear knowledge, we try to create a joyful life, a successful life, a happy life that we all know is our birthright. Of course. Similarly, in the vast realm of our thoughts and emotions, the other world, the inner world, right? His Holiness says we need careful analysis to develop clear awareness of what is harmful and what is helpful. We all know in the world what's harmful. What about what thoughts you entertain or you reject or whatever? What's going on in there? That's the bulk of what creates the next material world. This world isn't just there. It's created by all of us universally. So for instance, when you offer things in the supermarket or something, you got a piece of the action, as they would say in the old days. Our collective karma created this place to play out the karma. It's like writing a play. You write a play, you have to do the sets, bring in the characters and all that. That's what we've done with our past karma. So this world is a co-creation of all of us at this time. So we can offer things that are banks, but don't tell IRS or the world Trump's money or whoever's money. But it's true. When you think along those lines, a little different. This is not business. So we must work to increase the positive elements of our minds and weaken the force of the negative elements. The positive elements enhance our happiness, and I would add now and in the future, the negative elements undermine them. Then, thus, a clear understanding of our inner world is of the utmost importance, and that's what we don't pay attention. Who wants to look in there? I know who I am. We think, but we have to. We have to go in. All the senses go out, but awareness goes in. So, and that's where the future is being created with our motivations. Since happiness cannot underline, be achieved through material conditions alone. We need other means by which we can fulfill our aspirations. All the world religions offer means for fulfilling these aspirations. But I also believe that such means can be developed independent of any religion or any belief. Here we are with secular atheism. They'll be happy about this in Durham. We're talking secular ethics. What is required is recognizing the immense potential we have as human beings and learning to utilize it. In fact, today, even in modern science, there's a growing recognition of the relationship between the body and the mind, and an emerging understanding of how our mental attitudes impact our physical health and well-being. They are not disconnected. The karma we created in the past created our body. It created the mindsets that we have. Of course there's a connection. You know, you on board with this? Good, I'm glad. Page 6. One very important faculty that we human beings have at our disposal to help find happiness in overcoming suffering is our intelligence. Our intelligence can help us overcome suffering and find happiness, but our intelligence can also cause problems. Ouch. Using our intelligence, we build homes and grow food. But through our intelligence, we also create anxiety and fear, the untamed mind. Our intelligence gives us the ability to remember the past and allows us to envision possibilities for the future, both good ones and bad. We cannot truly overcome unhappiness by physical comfort alone, and I think we all know this. We get to a certain point, but physical comfort alone. For instance, when you're upset and everything, even a delicious meal put in front of you, go like that. You know, the mind runs everything. Ultimately, the unhappiness created by human intelligence can only be alleviated by what? Intelligence itself. Not by more houses, more cars, more furs, or whatever you're talking to the guys. No. Therefore, using our intelligence appropriately is essential. To do this, what do? They said. To do this, we must conjoin our intelligence to a warm, open heart. Not only smart, but warm and open. What happened? Oh, that's what he says. We must bring to our rationality essentials compassion. So it's not just compassion. Then that intelligence wouldn't go around making these munitions that are all over the place now. You would have smart, intelligent work. You'd analyze how to do this and that. Until, wait a minute, this is destructive. Don't want any part of it. That's important, and intelligence has to be tempered with a warm heart, with compassion, with awareness of the human situation. It's lacking in that respect, a lot of people. These mental qualities, compassion, caring for one another, sharing, they transform our intelligence to a powerful, positive force. The mind becomes broader and more spacious, and even when unfortunate incidents happen, the effect on our composure is minimal. When they talk of healthy minds, they always say space. There's room in there, if you notice. A spacious mind, not a claustrophobic. Okay, I see that. All right, good. We are able to care about the well-being of others and not just ourselves. In fact, as human beings, we are by nature social animals, and our happiness and even survival depend upon our interaction and cooperation. It's obvious. So, when positive emotions guide intelligence, it becomes constructive. The warm, compassionate heart is the basis for peace of mind, without which the mind will always be uncomfortable and disturbed. He's saying it's essential, not just an add-on. It's not something that's nice to have. Anger and hatred, they destroy our inner peace. Compassion, forgiveness, a sense of brotherhood and sisterhood, contentment, self-discipline, these are the basis of peace, both external peace and inner mental peace. Only through strengthening these inner good qualities can a genuine, lasting peace develop. This is what I mean by spiritual development. I sometimes also describe this as inner disarmament. Nice term. In fact, in all levels of our existence, family life, social life, working life, political life, inner disarmament is above all what humanity needs, which will lead to our disarmament. Any comments, complaints? What do you think? We'd like to. No, seriously. Mike, can you pick up the audience?
Yeah.
So if anybody has to interrupt, don't worry. It's family here. You don't have to be formal or anything. All right, so now back to the workbench. We're in the long run section on impermanence and death. And we've been using His Holiness's mind of clear light, advice on dying and living a better life. He's going to introduce the first Panchen Lamas on Chichi Johnson's poem, 17-verse poem on death and also the mechanics of the dying process, the yoga that's involved. You know, clear light, the bardo, next life, and all that. That's all involved in these 17 verses. I don't know if we'll finish it before Nicholas returns, but we can always discuss it informally at the Tibet Center in South Orange, or anywhere. So let's see where we left off at Martin. Martin, I can find more things. What's going on? We're talking about the idea that Dharma holds.
Tony, I've been curious about something for a long time.
Really?
I've never voiced.
All right, let it out.
Yeah, probably a good time. As you just described, the dying process and the stages and all that stuff, I've always wondered about people who die a more instantaneous death and what one, as a Buddhist, would do to prepare themselves, because we don't get to prepare like, okay, now I'm gonna really put lucky maybe, like I'm in the bed, I'm going to pass here, we're gonna have the stages, nice. Other people are in a tragic car accident.
Right, there's something slow, sometimes fast.
Right. So, sure, is the general advice just always thinking these virtuous thoughts, these may I be of benefit to others?
That's of course. You should always have that.
It's 24/7.
Well,
So
just loosely. It's a thing you go back to orient yourself, like taking a compass reading. Wait a minute, I'm here to benefit others. Okay? Let's have that thought, let it go, then go about your business. Very important. But come back to it. It's your, what they call a touchstone or your talisman or something.
Mm.
It's your way of orienting yourself through everything, through many lives. And according to Chungla Rinpoche, that never fails. You could do sadhanas, you're a big yogi. All right, now I'm here on top, I'm dissolving this and that's this one, that. Yeah, if you're very good. If you can go into one pointed mind, a supple, clear, what's the word, compliancy of one pointed mind, yeah. But for the rest of us, set a motivation, let me be useful to others, that's all. He said, that never fails. Just compassion. You get an idea? Yes, I got it. No, you didn't get an idea. But anyway, you know the drill. Those of you who know him. But he was adamant on that, not just once. He would repeat that. So bear that in mind, and that's our bottom line. And at Chungla's bottom line, you have to make a decision about this or that. What's best for sentient beings? With our limited mind. I mean, we can't see the future with some of the high yogis can, but we can't. But at least our motivation is clean. You know when you're really going to screw somebody up or something by doing this, right? Being selfish. So, what's best for sentient beings? That's our bottom line. I don't know, use business term. That's our bottom line here, Buddhist associates. So we left off on page 53 of this wonderful book, Mind of Clear Light, Advice on Dying. It's in different iterations now. The same pagination, I noticed. It's hardback, it's this. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a Netflix series. The way things are going, I don't think so. Maybe. And we would talk about Sanskrit dharma, which means that which holds you back from suffering, holds you back from the low realms. That's dharma. So, and he continues now, from first understanding your own situation in cyclic existence, and seeking to hold yourself back from suffering, you extend your realization to other beings and develop compassion. They're in the same position, which means to dedicate yourself to holding others back from suffering as best as you can. We're not high lamas. It makes practical sense for you, just one being, to opt for taking care of many, but also by concentrating on the welfare of others, you yourself will be happier. Compassion diminishes fright about your own pain and increases inner strength. It gives you a sense of empowerment, of being able to accomplish your tasks. It lends encouragement. In other words, it helps you Let me give you a small example. Now this will break your heart. This is his biographical information. Recently, and he wrote this about 20 years ago, so it was 2003, 5, something like that. I was a big deal on copyright. Doesn't happen. All right, whatever. It's about 2004. Okay, so 21 years ago. Let me give you a small. Recently, when I was in Boat Guy, I fell ill from a chronic intestinal infection. On the way to the hospital, the pain in my abdomen was severe, and I was sweating a great deal. We've been there. We feel for me. The car was passing through the area of Vulture Peak, Buddha taught here, where the villages are extremely poor. In general, Bihar state is poor, but that particular area is even more so. You've been there, right? It's very poor. This statue to Buddha comes from Bodhigaya. Linda gave it to me, so here it is, showing itself to everyone. Anyway, it's very poor there. That area is more so poor. I did not even see children going to or coming from school, just poverty. As he passed through, he looked, no school kids, what's going on here? And sickness. I have a very clear memory of a small boy with polio who had rusty metal braces on his legs and metal crutches up to his armpits. It was obvious that he had no one to look after him. I was very moved. A little later on, there was an old man at a tea stop, wearing only a dirty piece of cloth fallen to the ground, left to lie there, with no one to take care of him. Later in the hospital, my thoughts kept circling on what I had seen, reflecting on how sad it was that here I had people to take care of me, but those poor people had no one. That is where my thoughts went, rather than to my own suffering. Though sweat was pouring out of my body, my concern was elsewhere. In this way, though my body underwent a lot of pain, a hole had opened in my intestinal wall, that prevented sleep. My mind, all that happened and prevented sleep. My mind did not suffer any fear or discomfort. Body suffered, mind did not. All right, he's an accomplished yogi. Well, we can work on it. It would only have made the situation worse if I had concentrated on my own problems. This is an example from my small experience of how an attitude of compassion helps even oneself, suppressing some degree of physical pain and keeping away mental distress, despite the fact that others might not be directly helped. Compassion strengthens your outlook, and with that courage, you are more relaxed. When your perspective includes the suffering of limitless beings, your own suffering looks comparatively small. So we can think of that poor kid, rusty braces, the poor man left there to die. Traffic whizzes by. You know, who are we? So, he's introducing now the first Panchen Lama's 17th stanza poem. The section here, Liberation from Fear. And the title of the poem is Wishes for Release from the Perilous State of the Intermediate State, Hero Releasing from Fright. Tibetan title, which goes on and on. It can never go up on the marquee, so they got to work on it. In order to be free from frightful straits, such as being beset by robbers, thugs, or wild animals, you need a heroic and capable guide to save you. Similarly, to be liberated from the terror of illusory appearances while dying, and during the intermediate state between lives, you need to practice the advice offered in this poem. Or else, no, you need to practice it, which provides profound techniques, things you could actually do, for release from these fears. By reflecting on the poem, you learn how death occurs, knowledge that will be useful during the actual process. Dying is a time when the deeper levels of mind manifest themselves. So everyday mind that we have, there are deeper levels underneath this. You sit quietly, you look inward, slowly they'll open up. At the death process, they come up blaring, so they say. Deeper levels of mind manifest themselves. Daily reflection also opens the door to these states. You can do that. So you can prep to death, imagine what's happening, according to the instructions, not on your own. We don't know. So here it is mapped out for us poetically in 17 stanzas. We've gone over this before a few years ago during COVID. I read it when we weren't meeting. So, the poem contains a series of wishes to be used by any of us so that when death strikes, the mind will react in a virtuous way. We're not freaking. And remember the advice of the Kabbalists. Time to worry about death is now, not when it's happening. When it's happening, you're joyful, you're relaxed. Where can I go to be more helpful to others at least? Things like that. Now, wait a minute, time is passing. What am I doing today? Watching reruns of Captain Kangaroo or something, whatever, or doing something, useful. To a point, you gotta relax sometimes too. But so you want to prepare the mind so automatically it flips to what it knows, to its most intelligent mode, to where you can help yourself and others. Some seek to generate powerful virtuous motivation at the time of death to fortify and activate virtuous predispositions, which we all have. We came to the Tibet Center. So, I'm going to sneeze? Go ahead. We're all friends. Which leads them to a favorable rebirth. Good predispositions. Remember something. You can remember the Lama's face or taught by His Holiness some points that they brought out. Their goal is the attainment of a good transmigration, migration to the next life, and to continue their religious practice. That's a basic level, and they get a good rebirth. Others, as we will see, seek to utilize the deeper levels of mind manifested during dying to achieve more advanced spiritual states. All practitioners aim to be of service to others. This is the Mahayana context. We're not out for ourselves alone. The first Panchen Lama's poem describes 3 levels of spiritual practice, for the most highly trained, the middling, and the least, in the form of wishing to be aware during the process of death, the state between lives, and rebirth. Being aware of it, going into it, this is this, that's that. How do you know that? Because I familiarize myself with the instructions. You're not freaking out. And now, like people who have lucid dreams, it's a technique. You can then take that dream, I know this is a dream, and direct it. It's a good preparation for this. But that's also taught secularly. Alan Watts is a good person to read on that topic if you want to combine Buddhism and lucid dreaming. Also, there's secular books on lucid dreaming. That's what it's called, where I'm in a dream. Let me do this. Let me go there. Let me order that, which I can't afford in real life for now. But boom, at the end of the dream, you don't have it. So most middling the least, wishing to be aware. He speaks in detail about what you should do at each stage. He's telling you step by step, do this, do that. And of course, not just the verses, which are very terse, but His Holiness chiming in, explaining them. So this is gold. It really is. He speaks in detail what you should do at each stage. You need to adopt an appropriate level of practice for the remainder of your life so that at the time of dying, you will move successfully through each stage. And don't make no mistake about it, we all have to go there. It's real. I'm sorry, but everything goes that way. And since we already have to go there, we're not worrying about when it's going to happen. Well, it's going to happen. Sooner or later, I don't know, but it's going to happen. So why don't I keep a bag packed with all this information so I'm ready. When death actually comes, on page 59, so if you're not used to this practice, it will be very difficult to succeed at any beneficial reflection. You got to prep. Therefore, now is the time to practice and prepare. You alone, in your mind, reading, studying, thinking. That's all. You don't have to worry about coming to class and getting different classes on death. All right, fine, but you got to do the internal work. Therefore, now is the time to practice and prepare while you're still happy and the circumstances of your life are in accord. And are we all happy? Oh, yes, we are. Then at the time of real need and pressure, there will be no worry. When you have time to hear, think, meditate, and ask questions, if you don't make preparation then, on the last day, there will be no time for you to be without protector or refuge, with nothing left but regret. So you prepare now. So I did my best. And the easiest thing to do, I have no regrets. I did what I could in this life. Let me be of use to others. It is better long before that time to institute a continuous practice of reflection on the process of death and the intermediate state between lives. He always mentions them together. Yeah. And then what? And then, because it's always moving. So put that in your mind. It's a process. Imagining the steps so they become familiar. Rehearsal, whatever you want to call it. This is very important, for then you can achieve success in keeping with your greatest capacity. Mere knowledge of the process of death and practice is concerned with it is not sufficient. We must gain, quote, familiarity with these over months and years. And another word for familiarity is meditation. Gong. That's it. If now, when the senses are still clear and mindfulness has not degenerated, your mind is not made serviceable to and familiar with the way of virtue, it will be difficult. So now get used to positive, virtuous thoughts and positive motivation. When dying, for the mind to proceed of its own accord. So it's too late in dying if you're not prepped. All right, we know that. When dying, you may be physically weak from illness and mentally depressed from terrible fear. Therefore, it's necessary to become intimate with the practices related to dying. There's no substitute. There is no pill. By the way, we've all died countless times already. So, but we didn't do it mindfully. We didn't do it. I guess what came here in our good intentions, our good motivations, our good karma that made this place. So let's continue. The effort it takes to apprehend these practices depends on internal motivation arising from the conviction that experience of pleasure and pain directly corresponds to your own virtuous and non-virtuous actions. Something is unpleasant, it's caused by you with an unvirtuous action in the past. Something is pleasant, it's caused by you from a virtuous action in the past. It's cause and effect. We didn't inherit a claustrophobic world we could do nothing about, although sometimes we think that way. No. Thus, in the beginning, it is important to develop an understanding of the cause and effect of actions, of karma rather, founded on the knowledge that good actions stem from what? Attained mind. And bad actions come from what? An untamed mind. We got it. Through virtuous and non-virtuous, though virtuous and non-virtuous actions are performed by body, speech, and mind, the mind is the most important. So the root of Buddhist practice is transformation of the mind. The emphasis of Buddhist teaching is on a tamed mind, the foundation of which is the perception that you are the creator of your own pleasure and pain. You are the creator of your own pleasure and pain. As Buddha said, Buddhas do not wash away ill deeds with water, nor remove transmigrated sufferings with their hands, nor transfer their realization to others. Beings are free through the teachings of the truth, the nature of things. You are your own protector. Comfort and discomfort are in your own hands. Wash them. Then he goes in here now, the own status of the lineage of the Panchen Lamas. And he digresses to Panchen Lamas of the past and what happened now when one died and one was reborn and was put in house arrest, etc. and so forth. That's I'm skipping to page 68 now from 59. Overview of the poem. So you want to look up the history of the Panchen Lama up to today and what's going on. He gives his personal opinion. But that's not, we don't have time for that. First Panchen Lamas. Here's the overview of the poem, page 68. 17 stanza poem is a guide to specific Buddhist techniques for overcoming fear of death and for potentially utilizing the stages of dying for spiritual achievements. Not only overcoming fear of death, but now getting ahead in that process. When the mind gets subtle, you can use that. Blow away a lot of dead karma. Advance forcefully. It's very important. Zen just says, birth and death are a big thing. That's what he's saying. And you got to pick up the rest. But here it's spelled out for us. It is my hope that this description of the inner psychological experiences and physical changes will provide helpful reflection for those concerned about death and the deeper levels of mind. So it's not just death, the deeper levels of mind that come out. And that it will serve as a source of information for scientists interested in working with Buddhist scholars and yogis on issues around dying. And they have started. The book is 21 years old, but there's a lot going on. Whereas scientists usually have viewed mind as a product of the body, certain specialists are beginning to think of the mind as a more independent entity that can affect the body. The mental can affect the physical. That's obvious to us now. 21 years ago, the secular world was on the fence about this. But now they're on board, especially with fMRI showing what parts of the brain light up when you think compassion, when you think this. So there's physical proof here that a mental attitude changes the physicality of the brain. So you got to read Richie Davidson's experiments in Wisconsin. So a lot of people talk about it. Whereas scientists usually have viewed mind the product of the body, okay, it is obvious that strong emotions such as hatred can affect the body. Yes. Blood pressure, boom. Intelligence, boom, when you're angry. You're really stupid when you're angry. Yeah. Was it Ekman said that 95% of our intelligence goes away when we're screaming mad. So not a good time to make a decision. But now experiments are being conducted in connection with specific practices of intentionally training the mind, such as development of faith, compassion, single-pointed concentration, reflection on emptiness, or special meditations in the Nyingma tradition of Tibetan Buddhism. This refers actually to Matthew Ricard, going through the lab with the sensors on his head and everything, and thinking compassion and lighting up the motion part of the brain. I'm going to be doing something. That's interesting. His Holiness also, by the way, practices Nyingma. He's a hybrid, does both. These experiences show that mental training can have an autonomous function, influencing the body, even desensitizing it with the mind. It's very powerful. I think that consultation with nurses, especially at hospices, about impending signs of death also would be fruitful. So maybe we have Sarah and Betty going to talk on hospice and all the people. They see about 300 people a year die. You know, and they've been doing it for 10, 15 years, 20, that's a lot. So, the first 7 stanzas of Panchen Lama's poem explain how to approach dying. After an initial stanza, it's about taking refuge in Buddha, his doctrine and the spiritual community of the Buddha Dharma Sangha, okay? That's explained in this chapter. The next 2 stanzas, chapter 3, address the importance of valuing the present lifetime as an opportunity for spiritual practice. They describe how to make use of this precious situation by reflecting on the impermanence of the present in order to undermine our excessive attachment to fleeting experiences. So how do we motivate ourselves to start now thinking about death instead of everything in the world? Everything in the world you like, this or maybe you don't like, is impermanent. No question. It's moving. Everything's in motion. That's your motivation. Unless you're a great yogi, you have great compassion. Oh, I gotta do it. Just talk.
Yeah, you know, before I come here, I was so tired, in my mind, I just said, oh, okay, let me go home and then rest. I'm so tired.
Good idea.
Yeah, but another mind said, okay, what about if you are dying now? Are you going to choose to go home or are you going to the Dharma class? So I think, okay, maybe I should go to the Dharma class. So I drag myself. Then come here.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so this is the right view is very important.
Very
to
important.
bring us to where you go.
And what's the best use of time?
Yeah.
If you can. If you're falling down, you can't even walk, of course. Then you call the young others who bring you.
But I'm so fortunate that I choose to come.
We're fortunate that you give us this
now,
information. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very important. No, that's it. That's real world. Just talk.
So today's class, when you've been saying about dying, it just brings me memory of like Mr. Tom.
Yes.
Last 2 hours, his passing.
Eddie Tom.
Yeah, I mean, he was in great pain, very great pain, and he had like, so many painkillers and morphine. So it's like whatever they can.
He was severely ill.
Yeah, but then the last 2 hours, he was still talking Dharma to us. Yeah, he's like, go have lunch. Oh, you guys feel cold? And he talked to the nurse, like caring for the nurses. And we're like, and we sang with Gina and all those like Dharma songs to him. But meanwhile, he's like reminding us, don't forget about the karma, the compassion and emptiness, the last 2 hours, like before he passed away. And then by the time we know it, like he's practicing already, like he's meditating. We thought that, he's thinking, but he's actually preparing himself slowly. He left
And
us.
benefiting you.
Huh?
And benefiting you. He was taking care of you.
Yeah.
He forgot all about
By
it.
the time we know it, he left us already. Like he,
No, he loved you guys.
Yeah.
More than just, he was
like when you
like
talk
the
about
father.
before, like he prepared, like he totally didn't think about his own body. He only thought about people around him and all the classmates that we had. Like he called them up like with the last week to meet them up again, to talk to them, remind them about the Dharma. So the last 2 hours we were there, he kept reminding us, don't be angry, this is our karma, you have to deal with it. Yeah, and by the time we know it, he's like gone. And he's like, oh no, we looked at the machine stopped already.
Yes, flatline.
Yeah, it's amazing, like what you were describing
But he was
before.
thinking of you, not himself.
Totally, yeah.
Oh, we meet him again.
Yeah.
He benefited this place a lot. Brought all you guys in. Anytime.
Well, we didn't realize until this past week that the Chinese Mandarin, it was, Tencent, what's his name?
Junction.
Chun-
JC.
Yeah.
JC.
and then Mrs. Tong was telling us it was actually from Romachi that will introduce him to His Holiness in Dharamsala.
Yeah.
And then when he went to Dharamsala in the 80s, back then, no Chinese were allowed there. In that,
Yeah, I know.
teaching. So His Holiness, greeted him like, very friendly, but he said, unfortunately, I don't have time to teach you. And so he introduced Losam, another teacher to him. But then he got assassinated in later on. And then His Holiness was telling him, now you're learning the Dharma, you could stay to benefit yourself more, or you could bring it back to your Chinese community and let them benefit as well. So that's why he took it back to Taiwan, and then it's back to the West here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's originally we sang from Womacha. Or the benefits,
Eddie Tong, I felt very close because he was a working person like me. And don't forget, he raised a family, put kids to college and everything. Hey, working at night in the subway. Which ruined his health, walking the tunnels and stuff. But he was a character. I don't worry about him. We worry about ourselves.
Yeah.
Good man, and look at the good works. He continues. How's his wife? She's okay? Brenda okay?
He's fine. I just talking to her, and day before. Yeah, right now she's good, and before a few months she not feel well. But recently she's good.
She needs enzymes. Definitely.
Yeah.
So you all
So we have the appointment when I return back. Then.
So stanzas 4 and 5, it's just giving you overview now. Chapter 4 of this book, each chapter has a couple of stanzas. It goes on to speak to adopting a perspective that can handle both the overwhelming sufferings that can come in time of death and the delusions that appear while dying. The mind starts to go to the subtle levels. It's only your mind. Relax, like a dream. Don't go crazy. That's what the advice they give. I don't know how I'll react, but probably freak out. But anyway, because I didn't learn enough. How to achieve the most favorable conditions for death, etc. And he's just going through the whole poem, so we don't have to. Let's see. Chapter 6 describes the appearances that occur during the first 4 phases of dying and how to meditate through them. There's different stages of dissolution. You want another book on that, Death, Intermediate State, and Rebirth in Tibetan Buddhism, co-written by Lachi Rinpoche and Jeffrey Hopkins and a few others. It's like a diagram of how the death process goes. Very dry, almost like a toolkit. Okay, now this happened, and that's why this happened. Now this happened. You memorize things like that. There's not much of motivational speech in the other things, but here you have that with His Holiness. And that's the classic text. Very short. It's no unveiled in it. It's a compendium of advice from different places, set up in a nice manual, easy to walk around. Thin book. We've had it here. There's some in the Tibet Center Library. So now, chapter 7, this stanza there that talks about the structure of the body and mind according to highest yoga tantra. So it has to involve the tantric view of the body, because these techniques that they're going to give you follow that what's the word? That structure. Stanzas 12 and 13 address the culminating experience of the fundamental innate mind of clear light. This innermost level of mind is the basis of all conscious life. That's the source, the clear light. Rinpoche's biography said, all forms come out of the clear light. That's what we observe. He sneaks little things in his biography. You know, if you're just drifting along the narrative, you miss them. As I do. But anyway, the last four stanzas, chapters 9 and 10, describe the intermediate state after death. Now, okay, you die during the intermediate state, the bardo, between two, bardo means. It shows how to react to the often horrible events that occurred during that state. So you missed your point with the dying. Well, now's another chance to get fully enlightened in the bardo. How you behave there. So don't go to sleep yet. Stay awake and work. They detail how various levels of practitioners can seek to direct their ensuing rebirth. Together, these 17 stanzas present the full scope of preparation for death by removing unfavorable conditions, gaining favorable conditions, learning how to engage in spiritual practice while dying, learning how to handle the intermediate state between lives, and influencing the subsequent rebirth. So death, intermediate state, and rebirth in Tibetan Buddhism is the title of the other book, and that's the topic here too, the 3 stages. And we all went through them countless times. We probably didn't go through them with awareness because we don't remember them, at least I don't. Maybe if we suddenly get our minds quiet and quiet and quiet, all these memories don't go away, we may be able to rekindle our experiences and say, oh, that's why I wound up in New York. That's why I wound up in this body. Fool. Yeah, whatever. I don't. I'm just fooling around for the sake of levity. So it's time to, we have to leave it at that. It's page 71. If we have time to finish at least the 17 stanzas, we'll be in good shape. But if you can get your hands on this book, it's well worth it. It's something you keep referring to.
What's the title again, Tom? What's the name of the book?
The current title is Mind of Clear Light, Advice on Dying and Living a Better Life. This is an old edition. It's already, how cheap it was, how old it is, how inexpensive it was. That's a good guy. It's got another cover. There's a hardback version. It might be called just Dalai Lama's Advice on Dying, but it's the same book. What do they have on like Amazon? Anything?
Rick books maybe? Yeah, it looks like it's still.
Yeah, you'll get an older one.
Yeah.
There's a couple of copies. Wednesday night we introduced this text, so Mary MacArthur found the text in the library, a hardback. So if we need, if everyone wants it, we maybe get a bulk price and get a few copies. We have, Darren, do we have Death, Intermediate State in the Tibet Center bookstore?
I think so.
Yeah.
What's the name of this one?
This one is, well, I don't know what the title is now. This is an older edition.
Oh.
It's called Mind of Clear Light, Advice on Dying, Dalai Lama, you know.
Yeah.
If it's him, it's been reprinted 10,000 times because he's a big seller for the.
It looks the same. Let me see the cover. Yeah, same.
Same thing, you know.
I have one on Amazon.
You have it on Amazon.
Yeah, they have it on this one.
The bottom of the cover.
Yeah.
Advice on Dying and Living a Better Life, translated and edited by Jeffrey Hopkins, PhD.
It says there's only one left in stock, but
Oh,
it's also available.
Yeah, they'll find it, don't worry.
It's available on Kindle too.
So, yeah.
It's around. How much they charge?
But death and intermediates that we have a bunch of, this is, was it
Advice on dying, 20 bucks.
$15.
15 bucks, not bad. I mean, we get you a new life, 15 bucks.
Yeah.
That isn't bad, you know? I mean, how much are Shanghai noodles? 15 bucks.
There
Okay.
were a bunch of the Chinese for free.
It might be, yes,
Yeah.
translate, but it's Taiwan.
These are just,
Any names?
There's the Colorado shooting victims' names. Don't know if it's been available.
Praying for people who passed away. One of the group for the Colorado shooting victim. Who? Murray? Odie. Odie, of course. Yeah, I can't get everything. Get my keys, most of them. I can get in my house. Sutra recollection of the Noble Three Jewels. I'm sorry running over time. I prostrate to the omniscient one. Thus the Buddha, Bhagavad, Tathagata, Arahat, Samyak Sambuddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Suddhata, the knower of the world, the charioteer, the tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata is an adorned with all merit. He does not reach the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him, he is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those alone with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strength cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of Nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He is not stained by the realm of desire. He is not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from the suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats who rise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in Nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells on the Bhumi where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure. It completely purifies. The Bhagavad teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight for the wise. The Dharma which is taught by the Bhagavad is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy, and puts an end to the journey. As for the son of the great Yama, they enter completely, they enter insightfully, they enter straightforwardly, they enter harmoniously. They are worthy of veneration with joint palms. They are worthy of receiving prostration. They are a field of glorious merit. They are completely capable of receiving all gifts. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata. pure in the cause of freedom from passion, virtuous, liberating from moral realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma, which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are wholly feeling merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the leader. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the community. I prostrate respectfully and always in these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dhamma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the fruitions are inconceivable. May they be born in a completely pure realm. Now we have the 8 verses for training mind. 2 sheets over in your little prayer book. Found it? With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings, who surpass even which friend and jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions, I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings, and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others out of jealousy treat me badly, when abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When one whom I have benefited with great hope unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my mothers. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as light illusions, be released from bondage of attachment. And now, prayer for a swift return of Rato Chuma Rinpoche, written by His Holiness. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop. Sole refuge manifest in the form of one wearing saffron robes. Guru Zan Tuan Dorje Cham. Please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the best ways of aspirational prayers, Lord of speech of the wicked Ozan's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Though holding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you have withdrawn the activities of the form body that serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, Bodhisattvas? Though impossible for you till cyclic existence is end, to abandon your commitment to liberate all beings, we beseech the new son of Nirmanakaya to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by Bodhicitta and by 7 seeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full of the sage's teachings, and wish the fulfilled jewel, return as the glory of Losang Tenpe, magnificent fruit of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Paramayama, and Sri Mata Devi, and the ocean of Dharma protectors. May you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnation special one by faith. That concludes tonight's presentation. The next Dharma talk will be 2 nights from tonight, the 17th at 7 o'clock. Where? From our parsonage in South Orange. Go on the website, I'll tell you how to get there. And following that, this Saturday, which is what, the 20th already? Yeah. 1 o'clock at the parsonage in South Orange, the bi-weekly White Terrace Donna presentation. We have a nice session, 45 minutes or so, and then we have a big lunch. And the young flies us with tea, with herbs, with advice. In fact, she annoys us. No, she doesn't. Let's talk about it. Anyway, you're all welcome. Everybody's welcome. Buddhist or not, we don't care. Your friends want to come enjoy hanging out. It's nice weather now. You got a break finally, so it's reasonable. You're all welcome. Buddhist house, everyone's welcome. So thank you very much for your patient attention. Big love to all of you.